Okay,
All right.
so we're getting we're live, are we, Carrie?
Yes, we are. We are live.
Perfect. Okay, so for those who are already logging in, let me just quickly have a look. Yes, we have the first folks logging in. That's great. So while folks are logging in, first of all, a very warm welcome to everyone, and a quick word about the Slack workspace, which we are running in parallel to today's webcast. If you haven't been part of yesterday's TechCast, you might have overlooked this so far. So what we have in parallel to the presentations is a Slack workspace, which you can log into. The idea being that as we don't have any coffee breaks where you can sort of informally interact with other participants, and there's no opportunity after the event to sit together and have a chat. We're trying to do that virtually. For that purpose, we have set up a Slack workspace for you, where you can interact, with peers, with the speakers, of course. And what we've also got on the Slack workspace is a couple of representatives from different Oracle user groups. So if you want to ask questions, or if you want to share your experience or get in touch with others, either during the breaks or after the sessions, there's your opportunity to get in touch with others. You can also contribute to the panel discussion on Thursday. We don't have a panel discussion today, but there will be one tomorrow if you are thinking of coming back for the analytics day of the TechCast days. There's your chance to provide input and discuss with others. You can, of course, also find out about local user groups. Big thank you from here to all the folks who have signed up to the Slack workspace as representatives of local user groups. So if you want to follow up in your local geography, there's a chance for you to reach out to folks on the Slack workspace. You can ask about contacts, you can ask about upcoming events, maybe where to find further information, and so forth. And if you want to be in touch with the community, of course, you're very welcome to suggest any topics we would like to see for future webcasts, or for even for conferences, if ever we have physical conferences again. So that's the idea of the Slack workspace. And now the key question is, how do you get there? The link to the Slack workspace is here. So you just simply click on the link, the shortened link here, bit.ly ANDOUC-Slack, and then the rest Slack will take care of. We'll post that link in the chat. Slack will guide you. This is actually not too complicated. Slack will ask you whether you want to install the Slack client. There's no need to do so, but it may actually be more comfortable. In fact, I mean, I have a sort of expansion of Slack workspaces on my end, so I've come to the point where it's just more comfortable to use the actual Slack client. But you can simply use the browser and be done with it. If you join, it would be nice if you just said a quick hello. Maybe you want to say a few words about yourself, but that's not a must. Or if you really want to be serious about this, then you can add a few comments to your profile just so that everybody else knows who you are. And then in the Slack workspace, you'll find a couple of channels. One is the general channel for everybody to interact, and then there's a specific one for Spatial, which is for today, primarily for interacting with the Spatial community. There's one on machine learning from yesterday. There's one on analytics. Or if you want to, get in touch with, let's say, the individual members or speakers for that matter, you can do so by direct message. Okay, and with that, I think we are exactly on the top of the hour, which means I hope you got the Slack workspace up and running. And with that, I think we'll kick off the event, right, Carrie, can we start the recording? And then with
We
that,
are set. Please move forward.
perfect.
Yes.
And then with that, I'll hand over to Dan Abugoff. Dan.
Thanks, Hans. Can you move to the welcome slide, please? There we go. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining today's TechCast. My name is Dan Abugov. I work for Here Technologies, and I'm the board chair for the Oracle Spatial and Graph user community. And on behalf of the board, I want to welcome you to day 2 of TechCast Days, where we're focusing on spatial technologies and location intelligence. Next slide, please. Today's event has been organized by the Spatial and Graph user group, and this is part of the Oracle Analytics and Data community. We're a bunch of technologists who have a mutual interest in uncovering relationships via analytics, and our focus is on maps, location, and graph-based technologies. Our global community fosters the use and knowledge transfers of these technologies through events, through conferences, and online like today's webcast. If you like what you see today, please consider joining us on social media or via our Slack workspace. And if you're doing something interesting that you think other folks would like to know about, please tell us about it and consider presenting at events like this. The Oracle Analytics and Data community casts a much wider technology net. So not just spatial and graph, but it includes things like big data, machine learning, analytics, visualizations, natural language processing, and much more. So please check out the bi-monthly webcasts, the Slack workspace, and the newsletter. We have 3 great presentations coming up for you today. Each one will be between half an hour and 40 minutes, and then we'll take questions via the Q&A box. We expect you'll have between 10 and 15 minutes free between each session, as we understand that folks may have other obligations while working from home. We'll start with a really timely presentation by Dan Geringer and Karsten Sarsky, showing how to use Apex to create a contact tracing app. And we'll also hear about some brand new technology implemented in Oracle to make this easy. After that, we'll have Derek Hayden from Outfront Media, along with Tim Vlamis from Vlamis Software Solutions, to discuss how spatial analytics help Outfront Media's business by helping them understand the risks to fixed assets like billboards, related to hurricanes and other types of risks. This talk is based on features of the Oracle Analytics Cloud and the recently released Spatial Studio. And as a sidelight, Tim Vlamis, along with his brother Dan Vlamis, wrote the book on visualizations and Oracle Business Intelligence. This book has moved with me a few times. It's an invaluable reference, so please check it out. And finally, at the end of the day, we'll have Nick Salem. He's a distinguished engineer from Newstar. Nick will discuss how geospatial analytics in the Oracle database power Element 1, Newstar's cloud-based geospatial analytics platform. Nick's a real expert in spatial technology, and his talks are always interesting and shine light on interesting use cases. And then with respect to tomorrow, please join us for some other really interesting use cases. With that, just a few housekeeping items. We'll make the decks and recording available in the upcoming days. During the presentations, again, please feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A box. We'll be keeping an eye on them, and we'll get to as many as we can. And finally, I want to introduce you to my co-moderator for these sessions, Hans Wieman. Hans is responsible for outbound product management for all spatial and graph technologies at Oracle. He's also a volunteer with the Oracle Spatial and Graph user community. And on a personal note, he's a former colleague, a trusted advisor, and a good friend. So please, Hans, take it away.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Dan. It's really nice that we can moderate this track together. With you sitting in North Carolina and me sitting in Hamburg in northern Germany, not Hamburg in South Carolina, which, by the way, also exists, but sort of a few thousand kilometers away. As we don't want to continue, don't want to continue eating into Carsten's and Dan's session, I suggest that they take over the slide presentation